I mean, for those that don't know.
It's fun to delve into the movies, and that was something
We just lost his phone line. Let's call him back and get him back on. That happens occasionally. Genesis phone system didn't go down, did it? All right, call him back. That was his phone then. Okay, you know what? Let's bring Rob Dew in on this because, again, I wouldn't just have somebody on about a movie about swords. This is about the history of it and how it's a check and balance and how people fought to have the right to be armed. And absolutely, it was also a right to have social mobility. The first things that got liberalized, because frankly the kings wanted to have larger, stronger armies to take over other nations, so they allowed limited freedom. But the arming of the people did allow then the overthrow of some of the corrupt regimes that led into the Renaissance more than even the Black Plague did. And then out of that, you had upward mobility. Now somebody who wasn't born into nobility, they could become a knight. You know, they could become, and then that created, you know, that's why the old fable of King Arthur that has its roots in reality, you know, it was the commoner pulling the sword out of the stone, but of course he wasn't really a commoner. So this is a big deal. This is about getting out of a caste system, and we first see the caste system being overthrown to a certain extent with the free people becoming armed. Going back to our guest, Daniel McNichol, and the new film, Reclaiming the Blade, available here for the first time today at their website, reclaimingtheblade.com. Okay, continue. You got cut off.
You know, technical difficulties there. But, you know, at the heart of these stories is a message that I think, and hey, that's why they sell tickets for these type of movies, because it's something that resonates with people. You know, and that's the bottom line. If it didn't resonate and it didn't sell tickets, they wouldn't make those.
It's an archetypal, ancestral memory, whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
I mean, it's simple. Humans defending themselves from saber-toothed tigers with a club. I mean, you know, you're supposed to have weapons. It's that simple. And the weapons aren't bad. It's the people that wield them sometimes in a bad way. Other points about the film and then the extra disc that comes along with it.
Sure. You know, there's a lot of extra interviews with Viggo Mortensen and Karl Urban, who's in the new Star Trek movie, who was also in Lord of the Rings and has done a lot of sword wielding on a number of films. And then also Ken Sparling from Skywalker Sound did the 5.1 surround mix. So if you're at all interested in just some good. We tried to make the documentary less informative and informative but entertaining at the same time, and I hope we did that because it's a bit. I wanted to add some epicness to it. And Lakeshore Records put out our soundtrack, and there's a lot of great artists: the Doves, Juliana Hatfield, Swerve Driver.
You've also got Gimli in it, the dwarf from Lord of the Rings, who's also one of the stars and stuff like Raiders from the Lost Ark. I love that actor. Tell us about him.
Yeah, John Rhys Davies is a great guy. I mean, he's a wonderful actor. He's very talented. He narrated the film, and
you were talking about him earlier. He's the guy that is a patriot for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, no questions asked. I mean, John is he's a lover of history. He understands history. He understands where we're at today. And as I said, I think we should definitely get him on the show to talk. So he's a great guy. Actually, I wrote the narration for him, but he's so intelligent and bright that he actually added his own, personality to it. You know, I'm not the greatest writer in the world, so he was able to work with me on that, and we were able to really get a great message in there. And no, I knew from the start when I started developing the film that he'd be a great voice for it. And,
tell us about this sword master that did all the Star Wars stuff and the rest of it, because I think I've seen him in the documentaries about Lord of the Rings. That's the guy that trained Viggo, right?
Sure. Yeah, Bob Anderson. He's trained Errol Flynn. He's 80 plus years old. So I feel fortunate that we were able to sit down with him and have this interview. He's very spry for 80, and he's an amazing person. He trained Johnny Depp, Viggo Mortensen. He's a very well-known.
He looks like he's about 68 years old, and you're saying he's 80.
Yeah, he looks good, and that's part of what I would like to see is exercise with the sword, because it's something that attaches you. It's not just running you're not just running on a treadmill. You're exercising with a sword. There's some thought behind it. There's some passion and spirit behind it. So it's a lot of fun. I hope, and I like to think, and I romanticize about things sometimes a bit too much. But I'd like to think the sword has kept him alive for a while. But he's a really, really passionate person in the film, and we have a lot of. He's a big part of it. And then also another part of the film is the academics. I mean, we went to Oxford and we talked to a lot of really good martial arts experts, and we talk a lot about, historical European martial arts and how the gun basically kind of changed, warfare and how the sword evolves more into a sport and also into a symbol as opposed to just being a weapon. But getting back to the English history of it, when you look at the English longbow, which is a really amazing tool and a weapon, the accuracy they had with the English longbow, which every, as I say, able-bodied male was to train with the longbow. The accuracy was so good they could hit a target further away than you could with a gun. I mean, they could really hit a target well. I mean, obviously with scopes and everything.
Oh, the compound bow, and I'm no big mastermind with the bow, but I've done some deer hunting with them. I can shoot like a sapling at 150 yards, that big around. I'll say, I'm going to shoot that black, knot on that tree with a target arrow and actually hit it. I mean, that's the thing, is they try to destroy the Second Amendment. We need to try to keep it, but also get good with bows, get good with swords. And plus it's a lot of fun, and fencing is exhausting, is it not?
Well, I have to confess, I'm a filmmaker first and a martial artist on the side. I love doing the martial arts too, but I'm not that great at it. I leave that. But let me tell you about another project that could be really cool that we're working on. I don't know if you've seen Batman or Batman Begins or Dark Knight, but a lot of the fight choreography in that movie, I've been talking to some of the developers of that fight choreography, and I'd like to do another Reclaiming the Blade type movie with Husto and another guy. He worked with Christopher Nolan and Christian Bale. He trained Heath Ledger actually for The Dark Knight, and Liam Neeson as well. But there's some really cool martial arts of just hand-to-hand combat. And a lot of your listeners may not know this, but they've actually seen the fighting style called Casey's Fighting Method, KFM, which was used in The Dark Knight and also used in the other film, Batman Begins. But just another interesting project.
Well, let's talk more about the film that just now is coming out when we come back. And Rob Dew, my producer, has got some comments. I've been running on here. We really appreciate our guest, Daniel McNichol, joining us. I'm Alex J.